Thanks for joining us here on Patriots Today. Tyler Jones, your fearless leader, here with you. Thanks for joining us. Coming up on today's show, we are going to talk about cut and trade candidates. With the June 1 date upon us, that means that the Patriots could be making some moves of some players they could now move on from that they couldn't previously. We will give you a few notable names that the Patriots could say goodbye to, whether it's by cut or trade, either one. We'll examine those options coming up in just a matter of moments. Before we do, need your help with today's show. Here's what I'm asking. I want you to pat my back, and I'll pat your back. Click the share button, select the Twitter icon, and click post to Twitter. Once you do that, tag me at Tyler Jones Live, and I will retweet you. And if you follow me and share the show, you know what I'm going to do for the first 10 people that do that? I'm going to follow you back on Twitter. Great deal, right? Let's help each other out here so we can get this show out to the masses to be a part of what we're doing here on the channel. Share it. We'd certainly appreciate it. We'll get started with today's show. So here's what I have for you. I have 4 players that we're going to go over potential options for the Patriots to either cut or trade. And these are notable names specifically that we're looking at for New England to potentially have some cap casualties here to save some dollars and cents. That way they could potentially bring in another notable player to upgrade at sorts potentially. Let's start with Trent Brown at the offensive tackle spot. Now this one, some of you might find a little interesting. Like, Trent Brown? Hear me out on this. Let's dive in to what Zach Cox from Nesson had to say about why Trent Brown. Brown projects as a starter at either left or right tackle, probably left. But the Patriots could clear $8 million in salary cap space by cutting him with $4.25 million left in dead money. Brown's cap hit is the third highest on the team behind Matthew and Hunter, those guys there. So here is the situation with Trent Brown. You got other guys competing for playing time, right? Some younger guys that could potentially step into that role. And Brown is entering the final year of a 2-year, $13 million deal. And as we look further into this and some of the details on this, you're looking at the Patriots saving $11 million against the cap if they cut or trade him either one with that post-June 1 mark. So pretty good on that end. And a guy that has played some good football over the years, a Super Bowl champion, a Pro Bowler back in 2019, I lean towards, if you're going to move on from him, the trade option might be possible. You might be able to get something for Trent Brown with other teams, enough teams out there that need help on the offensive line. What do you think? Who's a player the Patriots should move on from? Whether it's Trent Brown or somebody else out there, tell me who you think in the comment section, somebody that the Patriots should consider moving on from one way or the other. Tell me what you think. That's our pinned comment today. You might get an ad break, so take advantage of it. While the ad's playing, get your votes in. Tell me what you think. Name a player the Patriots should move on from. Next up on our list is Lawrence Guy. Yes, that guy, Lawrence Guy, at the defensive tackle position. And this was another idea that was brought up by Nesson as well. Zachary Cox had this to say about the idea of moving on from Lawrence Guy. Guy is a good player for New England's defense and has been for years, but he's 33 years old. Posted the worst Pro Football Focus grade of his career last season, 53.5. 89th out of 127 qualified interior defenders, and would leave a dead cap charge of just $250,000 if he's cut after June 1 with $3.3 million in cap savings. If the Patriots want to give Christian a larger role in year 3, Guy could be pushed out. So here's what we're looking at with Lawrence Guy, by the way. The contract that he's at right now, 2 years remaining on a 4-year, $11.5 million deal. And if the Patriots were to move on from him, you're looking with the post-June 1 scenario of saving about $3.32 million for the one-time Super Bowl champion here at that position. And a guy that is a little bit older now, we mentioned 33 years old, you have to think things are going to start to go downhill for Lawrence Guy here. And we've seen that Belichick history tells us that he's been willing to move on from a player a year or two early rather than hanging on to them for too long. This might be the case here with Lawrence Guy. Might end up being a cap casualty here. Today's show is presented by the exclusive sportsbook partner of Chat Sports, BetUS. And BetUS is actually a new partner here to Patriots Today, and we're excited to have them on board. You may be wondering, well, what does BetUS do? Well, they are a sportsbook that you can use anywhere, whether you're in Massachusetts or if you were in California for that matter. Wherever it is, you can use BetUS. And here's what you need to do. If you go to chatsports.com/bet, you can get a 125% deposit bonus. You may be saying to yourself, well, what does that mean? Well, if you put $100 down, you get $125 to spend for free. It's like buying a pizza and then getting an additional pizza and then an extra couple slices for free. It's a great deal that BetUS offers. And you can bet on all sorts of sports, not just the National Football League when the season rolls around, but also you can bet on the NBA Finals, which start tonight. The Denver Nuggets taking on the Miami Heat. The Nuggets, a 7-point favorite. The over-under at 219.5. Whether you want to bet on Denver, maybe you want to bet on Miami, maybe it's the over-under, you can place your bets and get that 125% deposit bonus to checkout with promo code CHAT125. Also, with this deal that BetUS has got going on, you can bet on the NHL Stanley Cup Finals around the corner, getting started this weekend. Maybe you're feeling some MLB, want to bet on your Boston Red Sox, whatever you're feeling. We have all the bets available for you at chatsports.com/bet, promo code CHAT125 to get your bets in today. Next on the list, that is where we find at the wide receiver position, Kendrick Bourne, with the third player on our list here. And what we've heard the rumblings at the wide receiver position for New England is that the Patriots, we've said previously, and it kind of goes for the entire roster here. The Patriots have a lot of good players, but this team is lacking great talent. And the rumor mill, the rumblings of sorts have been that the Patriots look at their receiver room and they recognize, hey, you got good players, but you don't have great players. And the talk has been that they might want to upgrade said receiver room to try to find a great receiver. Maybe not DeAndre Hopkins, but somebody else out there potentially to take that next step up to give another weapon for Mac Jones. Well, Kendrick Bourne, you may remember last offseason, the reports were that he had upset Bill Belichick and was out of Belichick's graces, and obviously that took playing time away from him. Even though he's only missed one game since joining the Patriots, his snap count decreased a lot towards the end of last year. He's entering the final year of a 3-year, $15 million contract. The Patriots can save $5.45 million against the cap if he's cut or traded, either one, as far as that goes. Personally, I like Kendrick Bourne. I would like to see him stick around and get more playing time. And I know that Bill has his feelings about certain guys. I mean, we even heard the rumblings about him being upset at Mac Jones this past offseason. But hopefully Bill O'Brien gets in there and kind of just straightens out things. Guys like Kendrick Bourne get a second chance to prove themselves. Mac Jones, even the same thing. This clean slate that we've heard talked about, hopefully that includes giving guys a second chance of some sort. Kendrick Bourne, I would rather have him stick around and get that second chance. But the money, as you can see there, you can save a lot if you do decide to ultimately move on, close to $5.5 million. The last player on this list, also a receiver, and for a lot of the same reasons. That is where we find DeVante Parker here. Now, kind of like what we just talked about with Kendrick Bourne there. DeVante Parker, solid player. I think that he's been a good fit for New England. But if the Patriots are going to upgrade the position, like some people are speculating, somebody's got to go, and DeVante Parker could be that. And of all the players on this list, he might have the most return on investment in a potential trade market scenario here. He is the leading returning receiver for the Patriots this year with Jacoby Myers in Las Vegas now. He had the most statistics of any player coming back to New England at the wide receiver position. He's entering the final year of a 4-year, $30.5 million contract, and his cap number, if you decide to move on from him, whether it's cut or trade, you're looking at about $6.2 million against the cap that could be saved ultimately if you decide to move on from DeVante Parker there. So there you have it. Those are some names to keep in mind. At the receiver position, if you had to keep one, whether it's Kendrick Bourne or DeVante Parker, which guy would you rather keep in New England between the two? If it's Kendrick Bourne, type KB. If it's DeVante Parker, type DP. Not for Dr. Pepper, but for DeVante Parker. What one is it? Which guy would you rather have around this season? Is it Kendrick Bourne or DeVante Parker? Let me know. Type KB for Kendrick Bourne, type DP for DeVante Parker, and let me know. So to recap, here is a look again at the 4 cut-and-trade candidates: Trent Brown, Lawrence Guy, Kendrick Bourne, DeVante Parker. We're not saying that all these guys are going to be moved on from, but discussions are likely to happen about all 4 of these players' futures and if it makes sense to keep them around or not, or trade or cut those 4 guys and potentially save some money elsewhere. Name and play the Patriots will move on from. We know this roster is going to go from 90 down to 53 at some point. Who are going to be some guys on the short end of the stick that the Patriots ultimately say no to? Tell me a player that they will move on from. Hit me up on social media, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Tyler Jones Live. You can find me there. I'll see you next time right here on Patriots Today.